TikTok's on
Everyone's
the rock. Do something fun. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. And what we're talking about is going back through Jordan Peterson's message to Muslims from last year. Classic video, classic Jordan Peterson, well-meaning while having absolutely no clue what he's dealing with. So, you remember this video from last year, AP?
Oh, yes. How could I possibly forget that?
Yeah, and
Find the pen pal. Yeah.
don't give away the solution to all of the world's problems. We should just play clips of like every violent encounter between the protesters and whoever else, and just
Yeah.
play Jordan Peterson's get a pen pal.
Yeah, there should be clips like that of like showing the two sides fighting brutally, killing each other, and then he just appears out of nowhere. How about find a pen pal? Yeah.
How about no?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go through Jordan Peterson's video from last year,
Inshallah.
where he meant well, but didn't know what he was dealing with. But AP, let's make sure everyone is up to date on what's been going on. So for anyone who's been on Mars, what's been going on? Give us a quick rundown, because you've been covering the stuff when I've been sleeping.
Yes.
You've been going live. So what's been going on? What's the latest? What you got? What's the deal?
So we are in the how long has it been? 1, 2, 3, a third, fourth, almost week of this of a war.
Clean your room and make your bed, Muhammad.
Of a war that started several weeks ago, which is now called the Israel-Hamas War 2023, which started with Hamas invading as a surprise Israel and shooting down civilians, abducting them, torturing them, burning homes down, raping, taking hostages, and so on. Israel had a very firm response and immediately declared war, have been bombing Gaza since, and just 2 days ago, they finally started the ground operation and went into Gaza, where they are now operating and trying to take, village by village, district by district.
Which is what Muhammad Hijab told them to do. He said, if they're real men, they'll do a ground invasion, not just drop bombs. They'll do a ground invasion and go face off man to man.
Yes, and that's what they're doing right now.
So the IDF is doing, just to be clear, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, are doing exactly what Dawa champ Muhammad Hijab told them to do. Did y'all see what's happening in Turkestan? Yes, I did.
Yes.
In fact, matter of fact, let me go and pull this up real quick. Latest from Turkestan. Look at this. AP's got his own news agency. Moscow, according to AP.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people stormed into the main airport in Russia's Turkestan region and onto the landing field Sunday, chanting anti-Semitic slogans and seeking passengers arriving on a flight from Tel Aviv, Israel. Russian news agencies and social media reported. Russian news reports said the crowd surrounded the airliner, which belonged to Russian carrier Red Wings. Authorities closed the airport in Makhachkala, the capital of the predominantly Muslim region, and police converged on the facility. Turkestan's Ministry of Health said more than 20 people were injured, with 2 in critical condition. Said the injured included police officers and civilians.
Yeah.
Video on social media showed some in the crowd waving Palestinian flags and others trying to overturn a police car. Anti-Semitic slogans can be heard being shouted, and some in the crowd examined the passports of arriving passengers, apparently in an attempt to identify those who were Israeli. Why would they want to be identifying those who were Israeli? Isn't that weird?
No idea. It's all just it looks like they're just looking for peace there. That's what it looks like. They were apparently going from in the transport cars from the airports, from car to car, going everywhere around trying to find Israelis, saying like death to Jews, doing the whole Haibar Yehud thing from the river to the sea. And why would they do this? Does it look like it's all just about some political stuff, right? Right? It's definitely not about hating Jews or about Islam, right, David?
No, can't be.
Can't be, can't be.
No. Although there is stuff like this. It was narrated that Abu Hurairah said, the Messenger of Allah said, the hour will not begin until the Muslims fight the Jews, and the Muslims will kill them, until a Jew hides behind a rock or tree, and the rock or tree will say, oh Muslim, oh slave of Allah, there's a Jew behind me, come and kill him. Let's see, another one here. How did the pro-jihad folks get crowds, get tens of thousands of people into the streets marching on their behalf? How do we get lots of people marching? How do we get lots of people marching for Israel?
It's difficult to tell, right? I mean, right now the Palestinian pro-Palestinian side is just trying to win people over by making this about oppression. And in the West, we have
And
this.
smart.
They had this thing where people think, "Oh, I need to speak up for the oppressed. I need to speak up for for those who, the less fortunate." And this is a matter of compassion. And then you have a bunch of people out there, a bunch of idiots, useful idiots, go out there and say, "Free, free Palestine! Look, everyone is saying it right now. My favorite celebrity is saying Free Palestine right now. So how about I should say that too? Free, free Palestine! Don't you know what Israel is doing?"
And this super cool, all the super cool kids on campus are yelling "Free Palestine," so I'll do it too, and then I could be part of the cool group, and I could be a true freedom fighter, even though all I'm doing is running and ranting about Jews.
Yeah,
see, I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy here.
And what are they doing by that? By doing this, they are being fooled into supporting what is basically an ultimately Islamist, an Islamic apocalyptic goal. That is, it is part of the idea of Islamic jihad and fighting for Islam in the end times. All these useful idiots around the world, these leftists, socialists, communists, now even some conservatives are just there thinking, oh no, this is just about oppression. This is just about, it's just about this and that. But they are just supporting Islamist plans here without knowing it.
Yeah. So
get it.
So the question is, how do we get lots of people marching for Israel? And well, in an interesting turn of events, we had a showdown between the Black Hebrew Israelites and protesters for Palestine. Did everyone catch this on Twitter?
That's ridiculous.
Hang on. Hey, check it now, guys. For anyone who doesn't know, there's a weird cult in the U.S. It's spread other places now, but mainly in the U.S. There's this weird cult that believes that that Black Americans are actually, at least certain ones that came here on slave ships, are actually the true Jews. So they believe that they're the true Israelis, the true children of Israel, who at times when Jews were expelled from Israel, they went down to Africa, and then they ended up on slave ships, and now they're over here. But they're the true Jews, and the people who are in Israel now are imposters. So these guys do not like Jews either. And so you'd think that they'd be on the same side with the Palestinian protesters, the people yelling "Free, free Palestine." Turns out they didn't get along very well. Jordan Peterson is discovering the Muslim mentality in their reply to him. Yes, he is, and you wonder how he how it's taken him so long to get this right. He's a smart guy, and he's not as easily manipulated as most of the people he normally criticizes. So you think what's taking him so long? Because this is not difficult to figure out.
I think he still doesn't get it, though.
Yeah, I know. You can see by his recent stuff. It always looks like he starts to get it. I mean, his clip where he says, "Well, Muhammad was a warlord, so I have to do something with that." I mean, that was like a decade ago. And then they'll talk to him and, "Oh, okay, I apologize, and stop fighting, you Shias and Sunnis. Get a pen pal." This is actually we keep joking about this, ladies. This is actually his solution to 14 centuries of Sunnis and Shias slaughtering each other in the name of Allah. You're talking, I mean, Muhammad said that the best generation of Muslims was his generation. That generation almost annihilated itself by killing each other over disagreements. And Jordan Peterson is convinced, hey, get a pen pal and start up a platform where you guys can have some discussions, eh? And
Yeah.
and here, King of Corinth.
That's ridiculous, man.
I don't know what this is meant to, but it sounds like something like Jordan Salute. Hey, you guys tried love?
Oh, you know what? That could be what's his name? Lex Friedman.
Oh, Lex Friedman. Yeah. There you go.
He
Lex
does this
Friedman.
thing. But how about we try to approach this with love? You know, did we think about love before?
I mean, it's exactly the same. These are very intelligent people. Lex is a very, very intelligent person.
I know.
Jordan Peterson is a very, very intelligent person. And you ask them, hey, what do we need to do about this? And they give the exact same response that was from that I don't remember which Jenner girl.
One of them, I have no idea which one.
It was the Pepsi commercial. I think it was a Pepsi commercial, and it was
yeah.
It was Black Lives Matter protesters and police, and it's all about to let loose. And she shows up with a Pepsi, and then everyone celebrates and so on. But it's the exact same mentality. Here, this little simple, little easy thing will solve this 14 centuries of
hey, I have an idea. Why don't we just make peace?
Hey, have you guys tried love? Oh,
never thought about that before. Huh. Now that you mention it.
Wait a minute. Don't all religions just teach love like Lex Friedman said? So, hey, if we all teach love, then all we really need is a pen pal. Problem solved.
It's ridiculous.
In general, I agree with most of what Jordan Peterson says, but I don't believe he has done an in-depth study of the Quran or Hadith. You think? He doesn't seem to know anything.
Yeah, how about no?
Hey, wouldn't it be awesome for him to like do a study of the Quran, like the way he does it with like Genesis, and do like a series of 20 lectures on the Quran and his psychological interpretation, because he's going to see all sorts of psychological problems with Muhammad if he looks into Muhammad. Right, this guy's beyond warlord. So Jordan Peterson knows Muhammad was a warlord, but he would find some serious psychological issues if he actually looked into his life.
You know what the problem is, though? With Jordan Peterson acting so unpredictably cool with Islam, I feel like I would expect him to, like, after reading it a little bit, thinking, wow, this is really, really bad, and then, do something about that. But I feel like we would be surprised, and he would shockingly try to take the Quran and all the violent, hateful, messed up, ignorant stuff in it, and he would try to interpret it in some in a deeper way and make something different out of it, because he just doesn't want to acknowledge that Islam is a big problem. He doesn't want to do that. Got potential allies out.
I understand, Jordan Peterson, it's denial. Who would want to admit we have admitted into our countries a fascist supremacist ideology calling itself a religion? And it's gotta suck that like Jordan Peterson thinks that he has these potential allies, and then like the moment he criticizes or questions anything they say, they go off on him.
How dare you?
I mean, it's got to suck, right? You start thinking, "Oh, I've got some potential allies out there," and now they're calling for my destruction too.
But you know what the problem with that is?
Start feeling lonely, man.
The problem with that is when he does that. I mean, ever since he started doing that, he started like being not very honest about Islam because of alliances and all of that. I can't really respect him very much, because that's contrary to everything he said in the past. That's contrary to how a person with with integrity, as he propagated it for so long, should act. I don't know. It's very disappointing.
Yeah, maybe we should watch the video so people can see what we're talking about here. John H. says, Jordan Peterson is a classic conservative and hopes the Muslims will come around to reason and logic. And we've seen this over and over again. We've brought it up over and over again that the issue is if you're basing your view of Islam on some Muslim friends that you've had, or I mean, he's an academic, so Muslim professors and Muslim students, you think, wait, I know some really nice Muslims, so Islam can't be the problem. It must be some people messing with it or misrepresenting it or something like that. And we're like, no, read the sources here. We got some issues here. Got a few issues here. And nope, can't believe that. Go ahead and check out some Jordan Peterson. So guys, again, this is from, I think this was last July. It's last June or July of last year, something like that. And this is when Jordan Peterson had been having some interactions with Muslims, and they were really, really liking him because Jordan Peterson and the Ben Shapiros and so on, they're criticizing a lot of the LGBTQ stuff, the trans stuff, and Muslims were sort of cheering them on and so on. So Jordan Peterson realized that I've got an opportunity to build some bridges here, and decided to build some bridges. And it's interesting because I know exactly what Jordan Peterson is trying to do here. And I could have told him exactly why. This is not going to work. But let's go ahead and check out. So this is from a little over a year ago.
It's from July 2022. Yeah.
July of last year. And we're going to see how this video has aged in 1 year.
Inshallah.
Hi, all.
How you doing?
I've been informed by many sources and also observed online, not least because of my discussions with a variety of Muslim thinkers, supporters, and critics, that I have developed an audience in the Muslim world.
You catch that? He's caught on that he has a ton of Muslim fans. He has a Muslim audience. This is just a year ago, man. This is only a year ago. Hey, I've got all these Muslim fans and they're really liking my videos and I'm really making a difference. And I have all these Muslim fans out there. We're going to unite and we're going to make the world a better place. Well,
all this is lovely to see in the aftermath of the extraordinary Abraham Accords, which have laid out the possibility for peace between all.
There you have it.
After saying that, you already lost all the Muslims who are listening.
Here we go.
When you mentioned Abraham Accords.
Let me rewind it here.
Abraham Accords, which have laid out the possibility for peace between all the people of the book.
Yeah, it's working out really well.
In an unprecedented manner.
It's unprecedented. Hey. So this is 2022, so obviously things are going to be way better by now in 2023, right?
Yeah, obviously.
After all, you've got the Abraham Accords. What could go wrong?
And I have something to say as an extension of all of this. Please forgive my presumption, if you would.
No, not going to happen. No. Do you remember how they reacted? They flipped out after this. This, yeah. Yes. They everyone was blasting away at him after this.
Yeah.
It is time for those of you in the Muslim world to stop fighting among yourselves, you Shiites and Sunnis.
You Shiites and Sunnis. God, this is so condescending. It's incredible. He's treating them like little kids.
Yeah. Hey, stop that. Stop that. You've been doing it for 14 centuries, but now I'm here to tell you.
Hey, kids, stop
in the words of my friend Lex Friedman, all religions teach love. What's the problem?
This is really so condescending. Like I saw this.
It's extremely condescending the entire time.
I listened to this, and as I was listening to it, I inevitably in my mind went back to my Muslim state and perceived that as a Muslim does, and it's just so cringy, so insulting, and so how did he think this would be a good idea? I don't get it.
Yeah, and I said I know what he's doing here. Jordan Peterson, he didn't say this, but I can just tell. He's picked up on the idea that the guys that they end up with as their dawah leaders and so on are guys who are like thumping their chests and speak in a condescending manner and talk to people and just tell people the way it is and this is what you need to do. Stop being a baby. Blah 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 blah. You can think of Andrew Tate, right? Andrew Tate just jumps on there. Oh, everyone's a loser. I'm a winner. Blah blah blah. And Muslims, oh, we love you, Andrew Tate. So Jordan Peterson is thinking, oh, well, I can be that, and I could be that father figure they're all looking for, and I could be their dad, and tell them, hey, this is what you're going to do. Sunnis and Shias, stop doing that. Stop doing that. I'll tell you what to do. And not realizing, no, you are an outsider telling them what to do, Jordan Peterson. And
Yes.
yeah, they may have liked some of your points dealing with LGBTQ stuff or trans stuff or something like that. That does not mean you get the pass to boss them around.
There's one thing that people do not understand, that non-Muslim people who get some sympathy from Muslims do not understand, and that is when Muslims begin to like you, when you begin to to get a Muslim audience, what the Muslim audience wants is not to eventually get advice from you to the Muslim world. What they want is for you to convert to Islam.
Yeah, or for you to make your platform available to their dawah guys.
Yes.
So their dawah guys can use your platform to do dawah to people who don't know anything about Islam, because those are the best potential converts.
Yes.
And so, yes, if you're saying something that is useful to them, or you are useful, they will briefly shower you with praise. And the mistake you're making is, oh, well, since they're really liking me, therefore they're going to take my advice. No.
Huge mistake.
Big mistake. Super chats here. Michelle here says, let's talk Islam. Psychologist, atheist, Christian, and Jew would be amazing. Can you guys get Jordan Peterson, AP, David Wood, and Shapiro? No, that would not happen. Because the moment any of these guys were having a conversation with us, it would they get blasted even more by the Dawa crew. Look what they did. Look what they're Islamophobes. They're Islamophobes. It's going to be interesting once everyone ends up in the Islamophobe category, because everyone is a target, and eventually everyone realizes it. And again,
even fellow Muslims are Islamophobes. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I spent the past 20 years warning people, and I get to spend the next 20 years saying, I told you so, relentlessly. And I am going to say it. Oh, I'm going to say it. Bella says, you guys think that years of abuse by media on Jordan Peterson did too much irreparable damage to his reasoning. Yes, that's actually part of it. It's when it's just a human tendency. It's Jordan Peterson you think, oh, he's an expert in psychology, therefore he's not susceptible to this sort of thing. No, he's susceptible to it too. You would just think that he could spot it in himself. But if you're being attacked relentlessly, you start looking for allies. You start looking for ways to expand your support base to deal with the relentless attacks. And so if you're being attacked by politicians and journalists and educators and entertainers, and there's a thing where they're going to take away his license and things like that, you start looking, hey, who are my potential allies out here? And he's looking at this and going, Muslims are my potential allies. How can I make a difference in that community and get them to rally around me? Well, I'm looking at their dawah guys. Their dawah guys are all these condescending guys who just start telling everyone what to do and acting like they control the place. Hey, let me do that too. And doesn't work at all. Because you don't have that pass yet. You have to. If he had converted to Islam, then he would get that pass. And so, hey, yeah. Jordan, if you want to do something, if you want to do what you're obviously trying to do, just tell them that you're really impressed by Muhammad, and after you went ahead and read the Quran after years, and you see how powerful it is, and it's just amazing. You're converting to Islam. You will have an instant more than billion loyal followers, Jordan.
Yes.
And
he has to say, go ahead.
Oh, and I was going to say, and then you would have people who are going to block you from criticism from the media and so on. So the media says, oh, look at Jordan Peterson, and nope, they'll get shouted down. They'll get shouted down by your followers. So that's how you get your pass, Jordan.
safest thing to do, I would say, is to say something like, "I'm a non-Muslim, but I have nothing but respect for Islam. I'm a non-Muslim, but Muhammad was an amazing person, peacemaker, this and that." You will instantly get boosted. It's going to be amazing.
Or I mean, yeah. Next best thing to one of those options would be right now. After taking a closer look, I've decided that Hamas are the good guys, eh? And then instant billion+ followers.
And also time to stop regarding the Christians, and even more specifically, the Jews, as your enemies. Why?
I can't watch 10 seconds of this. It's so like you could sit here and think, okay, this is what a Canadian college professor would think.
Yeah.
Is the case. And hey, I'm just going to go in here and make a video message to Muslims. And I'm going to say, hey, Sunnis and Shias, stop fighting each other. You've been doing it for 14 centuries, but just stop because I say so. And now, hey, stop viewing Jews and Christians, which your prophet defined as the worst of creatures. And your prophet, the same guy who said that you need to expel these guys from the Arabian Peninsula, stop viewing them as enemies. Especially you Muslims who read your prophet said, hey, you're going to find Jews hiding behind the rocks and trees, and rocks and nature itself is going to help you exterminate them. But stop viewing them like that. Just view them as friends and allies against trans community. It's like, wait, are you nuts, man? Are you?
That the light shining from your well-constituted psyches and productive, generous, and wise actions is so intense that people convert to your faith from sheer admiration.
That's not how it works. You're supposed to be loud and yell and say, Islam is strong. Islam is strong. That's
guys, did everyone catch what he just said? Hey, stop viewing. You Sunnis, stop viewing Shias as your enemy. Shias, stop viewing Sunnis as your enemy. And both you, Sunnis and Shias, stop viewing Jews and Christians as your enemy. And start looking for Satan within you, within yourself. And then focus on defeating Satan within you and make your behavior so admirable that people will convert to your religion because of sheer admiration at your wonderful, wonderful behavior. This is Jordan Peterson explaining how Muslims should be doing things right now.
And remember, what did Ali Dawah say recently? Ali Dawah said that Islam is popular now. People want to convert to Islam because of its intolerance.
It's intolerance.
Yeah.
So different ideas there. And so you've got Jordan Peterson talking here. And then, of course, after the recent, the October 7th attacks, then, when he said, give them hell, Netanyahu. And then, I mean... I'm not talking about random Dawa guys. Sheikh Yasser Qadi told him to die in his rage.
Oh yeah,
told him to die in his rage. That's how Ali Dawa talks to us. But this is Sheikh Yasser Qadi responding to Jordan Peterson, whom all these Muslims very, very short time ago viewed as an ally, and now die in your rage. I don't realize how quickly these guys will absolutely turn on you for saying the wrong thing at any point. Benjamin says, hey, David and AP, do you think Islam can be reformed to be more peaceful and also compatible with the West?
No.
Yeah, look at what you said here. Islam. No. If you say, can a Muslim be reformed, and can a Muslim be peaceful, and can a Muslim be compatible with the West? Sure, as an individual, you can if as an individual, you're free to interpret things however you want, although other Muslims are going to say you're not in the Muslim category because you're not submitting properly. You do have different groups with different levels of aggressiveness, but there's just this ongoing problem that the clearest passages in their most respected sources tend to call for things like massacring Jews, subjugating the entire world. So the further you reform, the less Islamic you are in that sense. And then there will just always there will be a Muslim community saying, look, they're compromising, they're not real Muslims. And then they become the enemies too.
Alhamdulillah.
And so I think the closest thing you can have to this is if you look at the pattern of conduct from Muhammad, who was the pattern of conduct, when he was completely outnumbered and didn't have political power, then his message was to advocate a kind of peace and tolerance where Allah's the final judge. Hey, let's not fight. That message changed once he was strong enough to fight. And so in theory, if the Muslim community is too weak to subjugate, then it's not nearly as dangerous as when they're strong enough to fight. So I think that's your best bet. But yeah, the more Islam is reformed, the less it is Islam. Because again, Islam just means submission. It's submission, and it doesn't just say that you must submit to Allah. It tells you how to submit to Allah, and you submit to Allah according to the Quran by unquestioningly obeying everything Muhammad says. That's it. That's Surah 4, verse 65. You submit to Allah by unquestioningly obeying everything Muhammad says and not questioning it, not even having any resistance in your heart. And as long as that is what Islam is, I don't think the world's going to have too much rest from problems.
You spent so much time answering this question. I just said it. I said no. That's it. One word. Yeah.
I must have zoned out when you said that. It's funny everyone's using this guy. She was 9 years old. She was 9 years old. Said, why are you stuttering? She was 9 years old. Why are you stuttering? She was 9 years old. Eddie says, first super chat ever. What made Muhammad so persuasive when compared to other cults of his time? You may have a different view on this, AP, but we happen to know that they were familiar during Muhammad's time with monotheism, and society was, in a sense, ripe for proponents of monotheism to come in and argue for, one God and so on. Muhammad did that, did not make a terribly big splash until the message became, hey, join me and we're going to go around taking everyone's stuff. And if you die while fighting for me, then you get to spend eternity deflowering virgins in paradise. If you survive the battle, then we're going to take all these people's wives and daughters and stuff, and then you get to take them as your sex slaves.
Nice.
That's when he exploded in popularity. Do you have a different take, or am I right on the money there?
Pretty much, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So Muhammad had a better understanding of what really motivates a lot of people.
Far more unites you with the other people of the book, as your own prophet himself, peace be unto him, forthrightly said, than what divides you.
For instance, you may think it divides you that your prophet ordered you to violently subjugate them and to make them pay the jizya. But you all believe in God, so who cares? My goodness, man. What is this?
Believe, for example, in a book. You all believe
You all believe in a book?
Whoa. That's amazing.
No.
Why is he talking about something he doesn't know anything about? He says
he's got a point. We all do believe in a book.
But he refers to all of them. He says, you people of the book. It's like Muslims are not people of the book. That's not what they believe.
But they do believe in a book, AP. Anyone who believes in a book is on the same page of a different book.
Shouldn't he know better than to talk about something he has literally little to no clue of? I don't know.
example in God and believe that you have an ultimate duty to that God. You are.
It's so funny. Hey, you believe in a book and you believe in God and you believe you have an ultimate duty. Yeah, the duty including to completely wipe out Jews. You think you can't just sweep that part. Hey, you all believe in God, so just be on the same page. Wait. They believe God calls them to subjugate us and to exterminate them. So that's not a deal breaker, Jordan?
Unites the wisdom of the past with the vision and voice of those willing to see and speak truly and lovingly in the present.
Truly and lovingly? Their prophet, hold up. I just got to put it back up on the screen, man.
This is so cringy.
I just got to put it back up on the screen. It was narrated that Abu Hurairah said, the Messenger of Allah said, the hour will not begin until the Muslims fight the Jews, and the Muslims will kill them until a Jew hides behind a rock or a tree, and the rock or tree will say, O Muslim, O slave of Allah, there is a Jew behind me. Come and kill him. That's the prophetic tradition that one of these groups is following. And it's not a deal breaker.
You all believe in God.
Yeah, you all believe in prophets. Serious? Oh, my goodness, man! I don't even know what to do with this.
That's the thing with Jews, and that's the very explicit one. But then it's also with Christians. It's just you are supposed to subjugate the Christians. And you're supposed to eventually kill the Jews.
Except in Arabia, it's so we had Umar bin al-Khattab said that he heard the Messenger of Allah say, "I shall certainly expel the Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula until I leave only Muslims there." My goodness, why didn't Muhammad say, oh, but we all believe in God and we all believe in a book, so hey, let's all just be friends?
Man.
These are the kinds of things you can't ignore, Jordan. And yeah, there are situations where you would want to align with other groups when you have a common enemy. It's just, in my mind, when one group wants to subjugate or exterminate the other groups, that's kind of a deal breaker for me.
This is just disgusting to me. Like I stand, I'm on the side here, and this guy comes out there and is like, "Hey, how about we work together? You all believe in a book," and I'm just sitting there and thinking, so you want to work together with those guys who say once they get what they want, they will kill me? Okay, yeah, sure, why not? I support you.
How about we all quit squabbling over?
What? We never thought of that one, Jordan. Let's
quit squabbling.
Let's quit squabbling. Hey, Jordan, why don't you say that right after the terrorist attack in Israel, October 7th? Why'd you say give him hell, Netanyahu, instead of why don't we all quit squabbling?
Yeah,
that would have worked better, right? Just say, hey, quit squabbling, everyone, because that's what it's been 14 centuries of. It's just squabbling.
So ridiculous.
My goodness. Just stop squabbling. Oh, gosh. Man, when you combine that with the power of Lex Friedman's, hey, all religions teach love. Wow, these guys are great problem solvers. It's just like you've got these really, really, really serious problems here. And one of them is you've got a really, really big religion that calls for the violent subjugation of the entire world. And these guys think they're going to solve it with little videos and tweets, and that's going to solve the problem. Yeah. Looking forward to you, Duo, giving JP an Islam 101 lecture. Yeah, he needs it because notice, I mean, this isn't difficult. It's not like, oh, it's so hard to understand. It's not. It's hard to solve. It's easy to understand. But people think it's easy to solve when they don't understand it. And so, yeah, understand what the heck the problem is and then try to come up with a solution. But a tweet or a, hey, just stop fighting.
Over trinkets and details and face the real problem.
Which isn't that one religion calls for the subjugation of others or calls for the extermination of Jews. Not the problem.
He's speaking like he speaks to Christians, and he doesn't understand that a Muslim audience doesn't think like a Christian audience. A Muslim audience doesn't have the very same understanding of morality, the same understanding of theology, the same scriptural references, and so on. He simply does not get it. And it's just amazing to me that he thought it would be a good idea for him to not understand the topic at all and then to sit down and have a message for Muslims.
I mean, he seems to have his heart in the right place, just completely deluded in what he thinks will actually be effective. But I have to say, because I understand this. If you're a professor and so on, and you have students and they're Muslim students, and then you have colleagues at the university who are Muslims, and you get along with people, you don't tend to think, oh, the real problem is the sources and so on. Someone's got to be misrepresenting something. Someone's got to be Someone's got to be off about all this, because I know lots of Muslims and they all seem like really nice and so on. So I don't know what the problem is. The problem is, everyone absorbed the idea at some point that they need to be attacking other groups and so on. So if I just tell them to stop that, then that'll solve the problem. Here's what it all comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the advice. He's going to solve 14 centuries of bloodbaths with his timeless advice. Let's go. Here we go.
The light.
Here we go. There it comes.
Muslims, reach across the sectarian divide. Shiites, find a Sunni pen pal.
Stupid!
Oh boy.
He's so smart. So why is he saying something so stupid?
Communicate with someone on the other side. Sunnis, do the same.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So just to be clear, it's not just Shias getting a Sunni pen pal. It's Sunnis are also going to get Shia pen pals.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is ridiculous, man.
Why did no one else think of this? It's so brilliant.
God,
and then maybe reach out tentatively to a Christian, or even, heaven forbid, a Jew.
See? Now notice, AP. Notice, AP. Jordan Peterson said this last year. Guys, Sunnis, get a Shia pen pal. Shias, get a Sunni pen pal. And then once you guys, you got the idea of the pen pal down, you see all the bridges you can build, then get a Christian pen pal. And then a Jewish pen pal. Ooh. Notice, people didn't listen to him. They wrote him off. They dismissed him. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And what did you get? Terrorist attack. How many people followed his advice and all of a sudden got pen pals? No one, not one. Nobody. In the world, zero. And look at the result. We're almost at World War III because people didn't listen to Jordan Peterson's pen pal solution to 14 centuries of jihad violence.
Stupid idiots. That's what happens.
You know, it's weird, man. We look at the sources and we see fight those who do not believe in Allah. Don't take the Jews and Christians as friends. They are friends of each other. We look at these things and we think, we got a problem here. We don't think, hey, just get a pen pal.
Act like it.
To be followers of God. To act like
This guy thought Muslims are going to listen to this.
Yeah.
Hey, you claim to be a follower of God. A God who says what? Who says that you can only submit to him by mindlessly obeying Muhammad. Muhammad who said what? That you don't get your virgins until you exterminate the Jews. Yeah. So stop acting like you need to subjugate Jews, which is exactly what your prophet declared. And just get pen pals. Like you're not commanded at all.
You Muslims, you're acting like you're people of God. Act like it.
I don't know what to do.
Fantastic message, man. Great message. Muslims I think that, very well.
Yeah. So this is the main. Let's see this again because this was the main thrust of his entire video here.
Side Sunnis, do the same, and then maybe reach out tentatively to a Christian, or even, heaven forbid, a Jew.
A Jew.
Because perhaps it is time for those who purport to be followers of God to act like it.
Act like it.
And to be convincing in those actions, even to those whose premature cynicism and skepticism have driven them into the towers of Babel, constructed by the avatars of the resentful.
Oh, there's some babble here.
Yeah,
I definitely see quite a bit of babble going on here.
You know what's funny about that to me is that the Tower of Babel plays no role in Islam at all. It's not mentioned in any source. It has no significance. Muslims don't know about the Tower of Babel. So is again another sign that he doesn't know.
But I don't know. I seem to see a lot of babble in the Muslim sources, though, AP. So I just got to agree with Jordan Peterson on this one.
You are right about that.
It's all about the babble.
You
Leah
got that
says,
right.
what are 3 points that Christians should know about Islam? I've noticed that the
Yes.
average Christian, from my experience, doesn't really know very much about Islam. Leah, it's actually worse than most people know. When I post a video, like telling Christians to learn some basic information, I get, no, all we need to know is the Bible. And I've said about 1 trillion times, Islam spreads in 2 main ways. It spreads through physical force, or it spreads in an atmosphere of ignorance where the Muslim preacher can basically lie about anything he wants people to believe. And so if you know, hey, Islam tends to spread either through violence or through by lying to people who are completely ignorant of Islam, and you say, hey, we choose to remain in ignorance, you're basically giving them what they want.
How about no?
Yeah. So as far as 3 points that Christians need to know, I don't know. I actually have a video titled three Quran verses every Christian should know. You can actually read some of the comments here. You'll find Christians who are saying, what? I don't need to know the Quran. I don't need to know the Quran. Ignorance it's weird. People who think that ignorance is a virtue. Being ignorant about various things in the world is, I don't need to know mathematics. I don't need to know grammar. I just don't need to know any of that stuff. God wants me ignorant. Doesn't want me to learn anything. What? Where'd you get that idea?
It makes sense.
3 points Christians should know about Islam. What do you? You're not a Christian, AP. What would you want Christians to know about Islam?
Oh, I would like them to know that they have a very weird understanding of Jesus, but that needs a lot of detail.
Yeah. So the Muslim view of Jesus, and so matter of fact, that would be one fundamental point. You could focus on a particular thing, like they deny that Jesus is the Son of God or something like that, or they deny the crucifixion or something like that. But just the overall picture, Jesus is, according to Islam, the word of Allah. He's a spirit from Allah. He's born of a virgin. He performs an array of miracles. So he lives the most miraculous life in history, according to Islam. He's the Messiah. He's going to come back. But he didn't die on the cross, he didn't rise from the dead, and he's not Lord. So pretty much exactly what you would expect a false prophet who's corrupting the gospel to teach. All right, so you'd want them to know about the Islamic view of Jesus. What else, AP? I'm going to go ahead and give my second point. I would say that Islam calls for the violent subjugation of Christians. Should that be a good point to know?
Yeah, that's very Islamophobic, but yes.
Oh, I'm even going to give the third point.
Yes.
My view is, if you were listing the most important things, my third point on that list would be Christians need to understand what Islam teaches about the gospel, about the book that the Quran says we have. The Quran affirms the inspiration and the preservation and the authority of our book. If Christians would learn that, it would be pretty world-changing if Christians learn that, because almost every Muslim you run into thinks he can dismiss everything having to do with Christianity by just saying, your book's been corrupted, when that's not what his God and his prophet said. So I would say learn that. Your videos entertain me, and I am pleased to see a converted psychopath go toe-to-toe with a psychiatrist. Yeah. Hey, how weird is that, where the psychopath understands people way more than the psychiatrist?
Yeah. Terrible.
Why? Because we both spend our entire lives reading other people. I'm just not influenced by emotions. Jordan Peterson is.
Reach electronically across the divide, person to person.
Oh, wait, this is where he's giving his solution. I forgot. He's
Never
giving
heard of
his
that.
solution. Someone build a platform where Muslims and Sunnis and Shias can have an online discussion, because there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that, guys.
This is where the idea of Facebook came from. Jordan Peterson's actually it came up with the idea of Facebook.
What's funny is there were these chat rooms like that. I've mentioned this before, but there were these chat rooms like that with Sunnis and Shias, and I went up into one of these chats. So this is before YouTube. So you're talking like, I don't know, 2004 or something like that. Back then when I was in, and I heard that Shias have problems with Aisha, right? And so I jumped into one of these, the most active chat room, and I said, "Hey, I heard Shias don't like Aisha. Is this true?" And it instantly erupted into attacks on Aisha and defenses of Aisha. It was, yeah, we don't believe in her because she stole the leadership and blah blah blah, and she poisoned Muhammad and blah blah blah, and then everyone trying to defend her. And then I just sat back and watched, and I was like, whoa, that was easy to completely derail everything in this chat room. And then they kicked me out. They kicked me out a couple minutes later. They're like, we see what you did there, trying to cause division. I was like, no, I was actually trying to ask a question. I didn't know that. I didn't know anything about Shia Islam. And,
Sunnis have a really think that Shia Muslims are very hateful about Aisha, and I think it's justified because Shiites can say some really messed up things about Aisha.
It's crazy is like the only thing that could possibly be what he wants it to be there would be, hey, why doesn't someone build a platform where Sunnis and Shias can get together and talk about how much they hate Jews, eh? That would be it. That would be the only thing that you could actually accomplish your goal with Jordan Peterson. So the question is, do you really want to go there? Other than that, they've been fighting for 14 centuries, and it's built into their systems now.
Stop hating each other.
A place where Jews and Christians, willing and eager to open communication with their Muslim brothers, might do. Upon which
I find it hilarious that he acts like he's inventing social media right now. A place where Jews and Christians can interact with Muslims. Wouldn't that be great?
Nobody ever thought about this before.
Truly might be founded. A place where Jews and Christians, willing and eager to open communication with their Muslim brothers, might do just that.
My dude.
There's a task for someone looking for a purpose.
Yeah, imagine someone making a social media platform.
It's an open invitation to do just that. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
If you build a discussion board for Sunnis, Shias, Christians, and Jews to have conversations, people will flock to it.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can unite as people of the book and negotiate our way.
Wait, he's people of the book too? He's in there? Let's see if we can unite as people of the we?
No, he is not people of the book.
He is. He just said he is.
Muslims are not people of the book. You're not getting it right, Jordan.
He doesn't know the basics of the basics.
Did anybody tell him, since this came out, did anybody tell him so far that people of the book does not mean Muslims, Christians, and Jews? Did somebody tell him that according to Muslims, people of the book are the others, not themselves? Did somebody tell him this? I mean, this is, he used it several times now, and he used that for his major rhetoric here, for his message here. He should have known the basics on that.
Yeah, we wanted to revisit that video, ladies and gentlemen, just to point out that this did not age well. And
not at all.
Notice no one's plans, because I mean, other people, like again, politicians, journalists, educators, Hollywood, everyone has their idea. Oh, this is so simple. We'll just, this will make things work out, and they're all like absolutely delusional. Guys, you have a serious problem here. You've got an ideology that calls for the violent subjugation of the entire world. They're in the middle of what we're calling the avalanche of apostasy. And they're freaking out and deciding that they need to be more aggressive in dealing with the world before they just kind of fizzle out with apostasy. So they're trying to dial up their intolerance and their aggression right now. Oh, get a Penpal. What? Wait, what? Penpal? Seriously? My goodness, man. I mean, extremely intelligent guy. Been interacting with Christians and Muslims. Been doing very carefully researched lectures on the Bible. and you say, hey, super smart guy who really, really understands psychology, how are we going to deal with this problem that's really reaching a boiling point right now? We'll get a pen pal. Thanks.
Very,
Well.
very bad. Dr. Jordan Peterson, if you want to have some actual knowledge, some real ideas, you should talk to people who know. Talk to people who know
Yeah.
better, not to the apologists.
Hey, Jordan Peterson.
Talk to us.
Get AP as a pen pal and ask him some questions about Islam.
But talk to both of us.
And then if you think, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, then get some Muslim pen pal friends and start asking them questions about what AP is saying. But don't say it's coming from AP. Just start asking. Hey, is this really what Islam teaches? Hey, find some people who are honest. I'm going to start seeing the problem here. Jordan Peterson calls for penpalery among all the people of the book. Doesn't know what that means. He doesn't know what it means, but he somehow knows that if you build a platform where people can actually interact and have discussions, because we don't have that, it doesn't exist. But if someone actually builds a platform where, people can chat about their beliefs and so on, it'll all be great. It'll all be wonderful. Won't it all lead to any sorts of bloodbaths and so on? So I'm not terribly convinced that will work. But all I can do,
you'll figure it out.
All I can do is fall back upon music.
Ain't gonna follow no child molester, sex offender, private pretender. Ain't gonna follow no child molester.
Islam's not for me. Islam's not for me.
Islam's not for
Powerful. Catch you all next time.
Stay away from Islam.